guys. Yeah, I'm back now at the immigration center. I should say the satellite one here in Makati. There's a lot of people here. Actually, it's a queue, and it's actually open. So I'm going to spend some time trying to find out what happens next. But it seems like yesterday must have been a holiday because there's no explanation, no one's saying anything. And it must have just been a governmental thing, maybe just a local one that allows the shop to close, or this kind of government-related project. Anyway, it's a nice day, as you can see. Yesterday was pouring, and it was windy, thundery, storm, and everything else. The sky is still pretty cloudy. The sun's out, so it gives it's a completely different change, a dynamics, and even a kind of like a sense of clean freshness now that sweeps the place, and it's actually cooler too. So yeah, I'm glad to be able to get back here, and I wanted to make sure that this wasn't going to give me an issue, because let's be honest, who needs to have issues with visas in terms of exiting, and then you've planned your flights, and if the flight you can't change your flight. If you change your flight, that means you've got to buy a new one all over again. And I find here, like not like in Europe, places where you can have an open certificate or open travel ticket, which means you can adjust your flights. Over here, if they do have it, it means you're going to pay almost half of that price of that ticket fare to even get the chance to do that. High risk, and still you don't know if it's going to be right. And then they'll leave you in a situation where you have to call some customer service to discuss it, and that gets very messy. So anyway, I digress. So it's hopefully now I'm going to see what happens. I'm leaving the documents with the people here, and see what they come up with, prices and all that. But it's interesting watching a lot of foreigners here too, because a lot of them seem to be not so smart to what's going on. They turn up, they kind of like look lost and dazed, and I'm sure there's a few who've been here maybe several times. A lot of them live here as well, and they still seem a little bit mind-boggled with the situation, because you've got so many windows, like 10 windows to do different things. And what I noticed here is when you go to a document window, they stamp it, they check it, they ask you questions, then they send you to another window. You have to then get something else checked there. Then you get sent to another window to validate that checking. Then you have to go to another window, or back to the same first window, for her to go ticks it and get you to sign to say that you agree on the terms. And then she sends you to another window to pay. So it's been an ongoing thing. Anyway, I'll update you later with what goes on here and the cost for it. But I did find out, in fact, that when you leave, I said, look, if I leave and come back in a week's time or 2 weeks' time, what's the situation? Because I am an ACR card holder, which is an alien registration card. You get that when you've been here 1-2 months, then you can apply for an ACR card, which allows you a 6 months extension. No, actually a year's extension. It's a valid document for a year in the Philippines, but you still have to apply for 6 monthly renewals. How that works, I'm not sure. But I guess that ACR card allows you to open bank accounts and do other things governmentally, maybe pay rent, use GCash in a much more substantial way, or Maya. But yeah, I mean, I've had that for 3 years now, and my one expires in February 2027, so I've got another 6 months to go. So what I'm saying to the guy, I said, look, bearing in mind I've got an ACR card and I'm going to be coming back in maybe a week's time, 2 weeks time, how do I stand for renewing my visa? What do I do? Start from the beginning, tell me what I need to do. He says, okay, you come in, you get your usual 29 days free entry, then you have to renew it at the end of that 29 days, which you pay, I think he said 1,800 for another month. Or he says, as you've got an ACR card, you should be able to extend it to 2 months. And I said, so my ACR card doesn't expire till February, so can I not have it for that whole period from the time I come back for the rest of that 6 months or 5.5 months? He says, well, yeah, if your card is valid, it's likely you should be able to do that. But he says, when you come back, then, we'll see, because rules change. I said, okay, so at least I know now I can extend minimum 1 month, next one 2 months, which the 2 months is 2,900. And if I can get the full extension of my next, say, 6 months, 5 months, 6 months, then that will probably be something like maybe 5,000 to 6,000. but it's going to be easier instead of keep coming back to the immigration center to do this shit. So anyway, I'm keeping my apartment here in just outside Makati, which is a place called Greenfields. I'm going to keep it because I think it's going to be more value to keep it than to come back in and start looking for another apartment at a higher price, because I've locked the price in for this one with my landlord. I've been here nearly 2 years, and I've said, look, I'll stay here long, but I need you to lock the price in. So every 6 months you're going to tell me I need to add another 2,000. So he says, okay, Chris, I'll do that. So as it stands right now, I've locked in the price, and it's going to be cheaper, more cost effective for me to keep it in. If I'm away for a week and I lose 5,000, that money is not going to be nothing compared to if I came back and I'm paying another 1,000 per week or per month, maybe more, more like per week on an apartment. So I think it's going to be better in the long run. So this is my plan. Keep this operational. I know it's good, I know it's safe, I know it's a nice spot, a nice apartment. So I'm going to come back and do that. But guys, just an update on that. Visas here, once you get your head around it and you know which ones you're going for, some people go for the SRRC, which is SRRV, which is Senior Residence Retirement Visa. You have to put something like $20,000 in an account, or you have to have an investment of some kind here, or a business or something. That's one way to go, but I don't have 20K. I did when I first come in, but that's kind of disappeared. Anyway, so you know that's your options. But come in, first 29 days you get free. Next time you apply, you go to the immigration center, you get a 1 month, then or 2 months depending on your situation, and if they're in a good mood. But yeah, that's where we stand. So hope that's useful to you. Chris here in